spelled slightly different.
Yeah, some of them are spelled P-A-A-R-D, the old way.
Yeah.
This is spelled now more the Afrikaans one, Paardeberg. Paarde meaning horses. So, and a berg meaning mountain. So
Yeah, right.
this is the more modern word. But yeah, the old days it was P-A-A-R-D-E. So here is the mountain ahead of us.
Excited to be here, folks, for many reasons. This is my last battlefield, but above and beyond that, it's a battle that I've always wanted to see. So we've sort of followed the route that Cronje and his ragtag bunch of followers were leaving Kimberley and heading towards Bloemfontein. And the British were hot on their heels. We've got Roberts and his understudy Kitchener, and they're catching up with Cronje, because as we're going to hear, Cronje has been laden down with the wagons with the women and the children.
Marks the spot.
Yeah, somewhere around here, Tony informs me, was the surrender we see a photo of. It's a big open area. There's British soldiers lined up to accept the surrender. There's the solitary figure of Cronje on a horse. He's got a long sort of overcoat. He's got some sort of biblical hat. He might have a whip. And the old man has come in to surrender. Looking like the guitarist from ZZ Top. There's Lord Roberts marching to accept the...
Yeah, that's the photo.
If you believe the letter, it was somewhere around here we suspect that they accepted the surrender.
Somewhere around here.
I'm going to go.
I'm going to say it's here because this is apparently where his main lager was.
Okay. Yeah, this is the first major setback for the Boer.
You know, the forces there in Colesberg area had to, retreat after this defeat. You know, you can imagine that.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So they all had to retreat.
This rippled through the Boer units that were operating. The commandos all got the word that Cronje had surrendered and been captured with 4,000 of his men. So operations had to be wound back in other parts of the...
And here's the Modder River.
Oh yeah, there's the Modder River. Oh, this is great. This is brilliant.
Yeah, so that's it.
Which side was Cronje on?
He was on this side.
This side?
Yeah,
But where were the British? Over there?
All around, coming up from this on the other side of the river.
Ah, right.
So here we are.
Wow, wasn't expecting this, to be honest. In memory of those who'd fought and died in the Battle of Paardeberg. Farmers Association. What a for quite a few Boer names I'm seeing already.
I remember the 27th of February is I think it's the 17th anniversary of the Battle of Majuba, where the British got defeated in Natal in the First Anglo-Boer War.
Well, that's 9 days they hung out.
Yeah.
That's a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah.
I would have thrown in the towel after 2.
Yeah. Well, my book is saying the 17th to the 27th of February, but yeah.
Look at all the fundamentals. Look at them all. We got every predictable Afrikaner name is represented here. Wow. From your Jacobs to your Krugers to your Mankies.
So the Boers had I'm just reading here.
Clacks.
the Boers occupied the riverbank for about 12 kilometers up and downstream from this point. So, you know, it was a very long front, which they had all along the river of the Modder River. So the hills behind you to the right had British artillery on them. The hills behind you to the right, so it must have been those hills over there.
That's a long way away.
Yeah, because that's what she's saying. The hills behind you,
yeah,
to the right a bit, as did the high ground in front of you. Well, yeah, okay, that would have been, obviously, you've got where the trees are and all that now. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so they would have been there as well.
They surrounded.
Yeah. Colonel Ormili Campbell Hannay made his suicide charge across the flat ground behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah. His grave is there on the opposite side of the road, and I think we'll take a walk over there, and I think there's a gate, and if you look, there's the grave over there. You can see there's a fence.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, brilliant.
So let's take a walk over to that grave.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. I like it.
Yeah.
Getrouw.
Getrouw tot die dood.
Dead wife.
Yeah. No. He was loyal
Till the end.
till the end. Yeah.
And he's from the Lady Brand district.
Yeah. So basically, the first thing is that we must tell your viewers is that Roberts was not here in the beginning. This was under Kitchener's control. Roberts was ill, and Kitchener was doing these full frontal assaults onto these entrenched Boers, which was proved very, very fatal. I have read you had 3 Australian regiments. You had your Australian Horse, your New South Wales Lancers, and your New South Wales Rifles regiments. Now, how many men there was in these, in the troops I'm not too sure, but they were also active in this battle as well, and it dragged on for 10 days. It was only when it was decided, no, let's not do the.
So where do you reckon the wagons might have been?
They would have been
over there,
all around here. Yeah, don't forget it's a 12-kilometre front, eh? Yeah, so
with their backs to the river.
Yeah.
Which gave them water, but it also prevented them escaping. We'll walk down to the river. It's not at all like I imagined.
We can take a walk, I think, along this path here.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm not good.
What path? I mean where the shack is. Yeah, got some feelings here. I was going to say mixed feelings, but they're not mixed. I'm not tired of battlefields. I'm not sick of battlefields. This is the last battlefield I'll see in South Africa, probably, to do with the Boer War. And so this is the last one, and it's fitting that it was a Boer surrender, and it was perhaps a glimpse of what was to come, that the British were always going to prevail one way or another. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, oh, no wording on it, unfortunately. Gun Hill, Paardeberg, Drift, where are we? Stinkfontein, Boerta, de Wet. Trying to get this...
Probably here.
Lager, yeah. Hannay's, there's no wording, which is such a pity. Bankfontein, 21st, 18th, 2nd.
Paardeberg, well, we saw that. That's where we were in that little circle, I think. Oskoppies.
Second. I'm going to try and figure this out a bit. Gun Hill, so that's probably there we go. Remember she was saying that there was artillery on the hills behind?
Yeah.
So there you go. It can only be those hills. Now, which is Kitchener's copy? Which I would imagine then that's where Kitchener. Sorry, I've just got to orientate myself as well. The Os copies. There you go. So that's somewhere over here, which you can't see.
Yeah.
The Os copies. Kitchener Hills on the sky on the right. So that is where Kitchener was in charge of the battle.
The vet sort of left him and did a bit of a runner.
Yeah, he did try to get Cronje out, but Cronje refused to leave the women and wagons and that behind. So De Wet was in the area, but unfortunately...
I think we're somewhere here.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think we're going to see, as I've just said to Tony, okay, well, your men can go down this steep slope and avoid the artillery coming in, but then you got the British coming from this side and peppering you with...
To give you an idea, I've just got the numbers here now, Cherry. Roberts forbade any frontal attacks when he was back in command. Instead, he gathered 70 guns to get together to shell the Boer laager. He had 40,000 troops and almost 100 guns against the 4,000 Boers with only 5 guns. Yeah. So the odds were stacked against the Boers from the very beginning. Yeah.
There's a gun over there, which is probably over there,
on that side.
And that's real close.
General De Wet had arrived to help Cronje out of his predicament and had taken control of some of the hills about 4 kilometers south of the river, known to the Boers as Oskoppies and to the British as Kitchen's Hill. Cronje sent men who had horses to join De Wet, but out of a total of 50, only 20 got through. The rest were killed or taken prisoner. Roberts then sent a message to Cronje offering safe passage for the women and children, but this was refused as the women were not willing to leave. Stay by their men, eh? Yeah. On 23rd of February, Boer scout Danny Turon got through the British lines from De Wet's position to deliver a message to Cronje to the effect that he should attempt to break out to the south, where he would be supported by De Wet's men. However, Cronje's officers refused to agree with this, saying that the river, which had come down in flood, would be impossible for the wagons to cross without a bridge. So he was basically gave up his army because of, firstly, the women, and secondly, because, they didn't want to cross the river and it was more in flood. Yeah. In incessant rain, the carcasses of dead horses and oxen polluting their camp, while the British subject them to an almost continuous bombardment. On the 27th of February, this is 10 days later, the anniversary on the Battle of Majuba Hill, Cronje surrendered. So, yeah. So the surrender of 4,085 Boers were made prisoners of war. British casualties, though, were high. As I said, it is an expensive victory, with 303 men dead, 906 wounded, and 61 missing. The surrender had a dreadful effect on Boer morale and a contributory factor to the Boer defeat in Natal at the Battle of Tugela Heights, which proceeded to the relief of Ladysmith. So yeah, now they were shaken after the great victory at Marcusfontein. Finally, with more men, with Roberts coming in, they finally had to say, okay, as you say, the odds were stacked against them.
And those must be the dates.
Yeah, of what was. I'm not too sure what they.
Just go down and look at the Moy River a bit. Modder.
So 2 big battles were fought on this one. The first one being the Battle of Modder River.
Yeah.
In November 1891. And then this one in the February of 1900. So there it is.
Rusty metal, guys, could easily be Boer. Oh, look at that beautiful river. But you can see how steep the bank is. Okay, well, that's my theory gone. You can't just go and hide down there to avoid these shell fire because you can't get up again. It's very steep. So I don't know what the advantage was of forming a laager here. Well, I suppose your back's protected. They can't charge your back.
I suppose because they were getting encircled by the village. See the fish, by the way.
All along there would have been. Remember Blood River? The laager? Classic Boer technique. There's a beautiful Kitchener plate, Roberts. We've seen plenty of these now, haven't we? So we got Methuen, we followed him up through Modder River and Grospon, Belmont, Kelly Infantry, Tucker, Colville, Broadwood, Gordon, French. He's on his way. He was down in the Northern Cape. Infantry Brigade. Colonel Hannay, where he lost his life at Paardeberg. Wow. British Sangars. Some stuff made out of shells. Pen, burger. POWs fought found during the reburial of burgers at Paardeberg. Tobacco pouch from Van der Merwe was captured. And some goodies. They found archaeological stuff they dug up. Oh, this is the this is perhaps the surrender. Look at all this stuff. Cronje rode in on a grey bony horse, seeming in his old green overcoat, frieze trousers, rough felt skin boots, and slouch hat, even bulkier by contrast with the neat little field marshal at that moment. The camera clicked when Cronje dismounted and Robert stepped forward. Robert stepped forward to shake hands. He said, "I'm glad to see you. You've made a gallant defence, sir." All the stuff that would have been wrecked with the bombardment. There's a whole heap of Boer prisoners. They're not going to see any more of the war. Here's Cronje after he surrendered to Roberts. Your fighting days are over, sir. Those little bobs. He's beat. 7:30 when the squat-figured, hard-faced old man, General Piet Cronje, came out of the riverbed, mounted on a single ragged horse. Maybe he did surrender at the lager. Yeah. Cronje sat on one chair, his secretary on the right, Lord Roberts on his left, with an interpreter standing near, for the old fellow pretended, as so many Boers did, not to speak English. His little eyes set close together and his broad round face was touched with sadness and humility which did not match his square chin and round cranium. He and Lord Roberts talked for about 15 minutes, during which time Cronje strenuously begged that he might not be separated from his wife and secretary. And these were items from the battlefield and the area. Cool. Cool. 4 prisoners of war. 4 prisoners of war. Here's the trenches where there's the wagons, you know, for their lager. Had worked so well at Blood River, not here. Hundreds of wagons having been burnt up till nothing but a heap of old iron remained, many others smashed. The ground all round the lager was littered with shrapnel bullets and old shells, many of which never exploded during the soft soil, dangerous to play with. Picture of some of the dead animals in the laager. Ammunition wagons. Crop. Trenches at Paardeberg. They dug themselves in. They thought that was a clever idea. A good idea. This looks like them coming into Bloemfontein, Maitland Street. Battle at Driefontein. Don't know what that is. Oh, that's right. This is where the mayor gives Roberts the keys to Bloemfontein. Anyway, let's not go down there. Let's go see the grave of the colonel. A good colonel.
And he selfishly gave up his life. So I wonder where his horse was shot down. And yeah, he walked still. So I can picture it still with his sword or with his rifle or whatever he had.
Oh yeah, there's the grave.
And Kitchener looking nonchalantly on.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we just cut a path there.
Yeah, it's very harsh.
Yeah.
Grass is real hard. Thorny, dry, dead. When I get back to the car, I've got a slightly cool bottle of water. I'll crack. I'll raise a toast to the heavens. Thank my lucky stars for all the fortune I've had here. All the fantastic things I've been exposed to and seen, and the opportunities I've had to fulfill my every dream as far as Boer War. You know, I was making these lists up at least 12 months ago, and every now and then I'd read something on Wikipedia, or you know, I'd branch off on another rabbit hole. There's a skull.
I don't know what it is. Rock, it must be. It's very white, but yeah, it must be a rock. It can only be a rock.
There's another one there, so.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, I think it'd be 98% of the places I wrote down I've been shown. Very few that didn't exist, or people didn't know where they were, or it just wasn't possible. Yeah, okay. Anyway, here we are at the memorial to an English officer. Colonel. It's an unusual name, O'Malley. Campbell. Hannay. It's got no gate or anything?
No, can't see. But it's pity, because I would have cleaned the grass away there.
It seems to say late Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders killed in action on this spot whilst in command of the 1st Brigade something infantry. Darkness comes over me.
In this wide open plains.
Yeah, right.
I rest the stone.
So maybe the laager was over there.
Yeah, I think it was spread quite along, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of where it was women and black man records would have been in this area.